something. Once that frontal lobe turns on, when that frontal lobe starts kicking in and doing what she got to do, you see the world in a new way. It's giving very much, I can show you the world. Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Nikki Nicole. I go by Nikki or Nicole, and thank you for joining me on yet another video. If this is your first time ever seeing me or being on my channel, welcome. No, I'm kidding. But welcome. Thank you for clicking on. As you can see by the title of today's video, we are going to be in episode 1 of a series that I told you guys about called Window Seat. And today we are going to be talking about the 7 things I've learned since turning 25. Now, I am in my later part of my 20s, and I've learned a lot since turning 25. They're not lying when they say once you turn 25 and that frontal lobe starts clicking in, girl, it's very much, no, I don't like that anymore, and that doesn't serve me anymore, and is this trauma? So I just want to give you guys 7 things that I feel like are kind of important for people that are turning 25, maybe close to 25, 26, whatever. Just some things to kind of pay attention to as you're moving forward past 25. Honestly, these are some things I've been trying to incorporate into my life, and they've been of assistance to me. So I thought I would share some of those with you guys and kind of get a discussion going on about, do you agree with these things? What have you learned since 25? So before I yap literally to infinity and beyond, we're just going to go ahead and roll the intro and get right into the video. All right. So I'm going to have my iPad with me. My notes are on here. So if you guys see me looking down or referencing, it's because I am looking at these notes, honey. I had a whole outline written out for this, okay, with points and headers and subheaders and all of those things. So I will be referring to my notes because I didn't prep all of this for nothing, okay? So we're going to use the note. Let's get started with number 1. Number 1 thing I've learned since turning 25, or I guess the first thing I've learned since turning 25, is that your parents are just people. And I will say that one more time. Your parents are just people. Now, I know y'all don't want to hear that. And something else y'all not going to want to hear is that your parents did the best that they could do. Okay? It may not have been the best for you, depending on the situation. Even in the bad situations, I'm pretty sure if you ask your parents, they're going to tell you, well, I did the best that I could. Now, we're not going to do the gaslighting, okay? Because gaslighting is very real. Don't let them gaslight you. But in most cases, your parents did the best that they could. One thing I want you guys to think about is think about the age you are versus when your parents had you. So a lot of times, parents they kind of start out younger, between their early 20s to like early 30s. And me, myself, I'm a few years away from my 30s. And I'm not going to lie to you. If I had a 6-year-old, 7-year-old running around here, considering where I was 6, 7 years ago, I can't say there wouldn't be a few things that may have negatively affected my child. Unbeknownst to me, just me thinking I'm doing the best that I could. We tend to put our parents on some kind of like untouchable pedestal. And at the end of the day, they are just people. They did the best with what they got.
I did the best I can with what I got. Oh!
And just because they are kind of in that pedestal that we hold to high regard and respect, doesn't mean your parents aren't absolved from getting cut off, okay? If you have a parent that is emotionally abusive, physically abusive, it doesn't matter if they're your parent. That is not enough reason for you to stay in a toxic situation. They don't get a pass only because they're your mother or only because they're your father. They should get a pass because it's not intentional. They should get a pass because they're trying their best. There's a difference between your parent doing something that doesn't serve you or that harms you and you letting them know and they're making efforts to kind of adjust that. I know that's a hot take, it's very controversial, but at the same time, you have to think about yourself. Yes, there's people that are in our lives, there's people that help us create our lives, our parents are those people, but that doesn't mean that you get to be treated any kind of which way just because someone's mom or dad. We're not going for that. Forgiveness also, in that sense, say if you decide to cut off your parents, forgiveness and forgiving whatever happened doesn't mean that you have to give them access. You can forgive somebody for doing something terrible to you, but that doesn't mean you have to be all up in their face every which way from Sunday. It just means, okay, this happened. I saw it for what it was. I accepted it for what it was. I forgive you. We're moving on. But that doesn't mean that we have to be close or we have to force those bonds if that's not what it's giving. I'm speaking to Black people specifically because a lot of time our culture will tell us that our family is above everything else, including our own pain and including our own trauma. And that is just not the truth. Yes, we want to be in family. We want to be in community. However, if things are not serving you, if things are causing you to self-harm, and by self-harm, I mean if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're relying on substances, if you're relying on alcohol, if you're binge eating, or whatever the case may be, because of the environments around you, you got to check it. For me personally, I've spent a lot of time trying to fix my family members. And that's even the reason I got into mental health in the first place. Like, I thought, okay, if I have this knowledge and I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm working on this and I'm getting the tools, and I'll be able to fix the relationships in my family. And girl, God laughed when I said that. He had a good old deep belly laugh when I said that, because that's just not the case. And there's a sermon by Dr. Jackie Green that is called The Pain of First. And I encourage a lot of you guys to go watch that. If you find yourself kind of being like the black sheep of the family, or emotionally trying to change a lot of things in your family, or trying to drive that change in your family from whatever generational curses have been passed down, please go watch The Pain of First. Because at the end of the day, only God will be able to save you. That doesn't mean God is going to come down and poof, make everything perfect and fine in your family. It doesn't mean that. It could just mean that he's going to do the work within you so you can start that change in your family. It could mean that he's going to do that work in you to walk away from your family. That's the thing. A lot of the times we think that we have to be in a situation to fix it. I don't want to feel like I'm like wagging my finger at y'all and telling y'all to get it together. But like I need you guys to understand, like, our families are the core. They're really our foundation in this life. They what build us up and make us the adults that we are, whether we know it or we don't. The last thing I want to say on this topic, because I was kind of just really fired up there, as you can see, family's a little tricky for your girl. But the last thing I want to say on this point is a lot of the things that happened in our childhood were not our fault. Point blank, period. You can take that and apply it to whatever situation you want to, and it still applies. Now, one of the second things I've learned since turning 25 is that some people are just for a season. Now, the point of this, because I know we've heard this before, the point of this is that it's okay. So point number 2 is that some people are just for a season, and that's okay. At the end of the day, everybody can't go with you. Period. Like, honestly, I could end the talking point just right there. It may not be the same club or the same group that's with you when you decide you're going to give your life to God and you want to go to Bible study instead of the club on Fridays. That may not be the same group. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with those people that want to do their own thing. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong or bad about you growing past people. Some people are here for a reason and some for a season. Yes, y'all know it. Y'all know it. Outgrowing people does not mean that there's beef. I know a lot of times, especially with social media, like, if you outgrow certain people, if you're not cool with certain people anymore, it automatically means, oh, there's beef. Some people are going through a season in their life that they don't feel like there's anyone around that they can talk to. They don't feel like they want to be around anybody. Maybe God has called them to isolation or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't mean that there's beef. If you think that there's beef, you need to reach out to that person, okay? Stop having one-sided beefs with people because y'all not friends anymore and you think there's beef. Have you even asked them? Have y'all asked why y'all not friends anymore? No, you probably didn't. And if you don't care to ask, then move on. Don't think it's beef. Don't sit there thinking that you got beef with somebody, because 99% of the time, you ain't got no beef and you ain't got no op. People just growing up. They're growing old and they're growing past. We have to learn to reflect and acknowledge how the relationship served us. We have to pay attention to what things helped us grow, whether they were positive or negative. Did you have a friend that hold on, because I don't want to give my business. But like maybe you had a friend that their thing was like lying or whatever. Did you realize in that relationship, like, okay, I don't like when people lie to me? Or did you pick up lying on yourself? Did you pick up becoming a liar yourself? These are the things that we need to pay a little bit more attention to, so we don't feel like, oh, like I wasted my time being friends with this person. Like, it doesn't have to be all that. Cherish the good memories. Just, again, going back to the last point, it's not beef. Because it's not beef, you should be able to hold on to the good times you guys had. You should be able to hold on to the late nights and the conversations and the times that they were there for you, because all of that, in the grand scheme of things, it serves a purpose. Learn what you want from a friend. Learn what kind of friend you want to be. Maybe in some of the situations you were not the good friend. It's not impossible, y'all. We are capable of hurting people. So with that, if there's someone that you're not friends with anymore, or if there's a relationship that you lost, or for whatever reason, if you want to rekindle that relationship, you should try to. I mean, obviously reach out, see what's good. But if you don't want to, don't have it as a negative stain in your past, if you know what I'm saying. Try to acknowledge the good things. Think about the good times y'all had, because y'all were friends for a reason. Y'all were hanging out for a reason. This could apply to my last point too, with your family as well, but some of those things are just for a season, okay? What I want to add on to my last point about talking about reaching out or trying to rekindle that, if that's what you want to do, I want to include the disclaimer, just so y'all don't come back in the comments and say, you told me to go reach out to my best friend from kindergarten, and she told me F-U-C-K. Like, I don't want to hear any of that. What I want to say is closure may not always be possible. I know there's some relationships that we really want to know the why, and we're not going to know. Unfortunately, there's going to be some situations where we just don't know the why. In some of these cases, we have to be okay with the no closure of it all. We have to just be okay with, well, dang, they were here and now they're not here. We have to be okay with that, because sometimes people are not going to give us a why, and we have to be able to move on without it. Why are you working? You agree? Who she had to cut off. Third thing I want to highlight, third thing I've learned since turning 25, is you need to check your settings. So when I say check your settings, I mean check who you're with, what y'all like to do, why you're doing it, where you be going. You see how I always incorporate the 5 W's? I'm telling y'all, once you start asking yourself the 5 W's, you're going to learn a lot of stuff is either not worth your time, you ain't got no business doing it, or it's not serving you. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to give y'all something right now. With this, I will say some behaviors you pay for later. So there's certain things that you may be doing, and I'm not trying to get in y'all business. I'm not even trying to put y'all in my business. But there may be certain things that you're doing that you may not see the effects of until later on. Like if you're someone who likes to homie hop, you may not see the effect of you and your homegirls homie hopping, or your homeboys, I should say, homie hopping, until you 35, 40, and you're like, oh, well, where's my wife? Why can't I find no good woman? Whatever. It's because this whole time you were not into that. You weren't interested in finding a good woman. You were trying to find a flavor of the week, a flavor of the month. That's what you were worried about. You never build those foundations to get you a good woman. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at y'all. Men, I'm looking at y'all. I'm not going to assume only women watch my videos. I'm talking to you, sir. If you think it applies to you, I'm talking to you. Another thing I will say is practice for the life you want now. This has been the bag that I have been deep in right now. As you can see, I'm here on the YouTube. I'm here on your screen. And that's because I'm practicing for the life that I want right now. Can't nobody tell me I'm not no YouTuber. Y'all just can't see the plaques yet. Y'all can't see the plaques yet, but they're here. In my mind, the plaques are already up there. They're just not on the wall yet. Okay, period. We have to plant the seeds that we want to grow into fruit now. We have to start working on those things. And that includes checking your settings. If you want to be the CEO of a 500 Fortune, how do you say that? So if you see yourself wanting to be a model and being on the cover of Vogue and walking for who could we say? Walking for Balmain or walking for Tommy Hilfiger, whoever you want to walk for. If you not working out, not taking pictures, not eating healthy, not taking care of your body, girl, where's the model going to come from? Sir, where's the model going to come from? We have to work to get the life that we want. Kim really ate that one thing when she said that.
Your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to.
For me, I'm a gym girly through and through. I am one of the tenured members of the church, okay? I am a YouTuber, a gigantic YouTuber with plaques. I'm at DreamCon and VidCon and doing all that stuff. Even if that's not my reality right now, that's what I'm practicing for. We're practicing on working on our sleep. We're practicing on doing the things that we say we're going to do. We're practicing on making the content. So you need to be checking your settings to see if your settings match the life that you see yourself living. Fourth thing I've learned since turning 25 is prioritize your health now. When people think about health, they think of maybe going to the gym and bringing that back. No, it's not just your body, it's your mind and it's your soul. You have to start prioritizing all three of those things. With that, yes, you should be trying to unbig your back. If your back is not big, whatever that phrase is. But yes, exercise is important. Getting in the gym. If you can't afford the gym, just going for walks, doing dance videos on YouTube. YouTube is the cheat code. There's a lot of full workouts available on YouTube. We should be moving our bodies. It makes a severe difference. In the past few years, I have not been active. Up until 2023, I was not active. From 2020 to 2023, I was not working out. I was eating trash. I was literally not going to the gym. And I felt like, yes, I did not feel good. I felt like I was dying on the inside. Like my body was just not appreciating it. And in the past year, I've been able to get back into my fitness and work out more, even though I'm out of commission for the gym right now. But I've still been trying to take walks and just do anything to move my body. If you feel like your chest hurting too much or you can't breathe, you can't probably get enough breath, it's because you could be out of shape, babe. You really could be out of shape. Hey, y'all need to be seeing y'all doctors. This was not in my notes, but I'm gonna include that. Y'all need to be going to the doctor. Even if you have a fear of this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be, you should at least be going in for a check-in every year. You should at least be getting your blood work done every year. The exams that come at the specific time, you should be getting those done. Second thing I want to add to this is America has a problem. Beyonce was right. America does have a problem, but she didn't specify what the problem is. The problem is food. I'm not going to lecture y'all on what to eat because, you know me, I be having my moments where it's like, girl, you're going to have Chick-fil-A again? You're going to eat Chick-fil-A for lunch again? But I just want to say everything in moderation, period. Everything in moderation. Something that changed for me big time is I did a fast. I think it was around last year. I did a fast and the fast was vegan. I was doing a vegan fast. And I started looking at the ingredients on a lot of the stuff in the store and I was like, girl, who are this? What are this? How do you even say this? What is this? So that would be something else I would encourage y'all to do. Check the ingredients. Check the nutrition label. The nutrition label matters, okay? Yeah, the calories are low, but what's the salt? Gotcha. Yeah, it's fat-free. What's the sugar? Gotcha. Pay attention to the labels. Every meal you eat should not be a beige plate, okay? I don't know who coined the term beige plate, but thank you so much because that is the perfect way to describe it. When y'all be eating the yams and the fried chicken and the macaroni and the cornbread, what color is the plate? It's beige. Please eat your vegetables. Get some color in the food. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. When you look at it from afar, a hamburger could be very colorful. I'm not gonna say all hamburgers are healthy, but even that, y'all killing me on Twitter when y'all always posting them beige plates. They do look good. But the cholesterol, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, the next thing I want to say as far as getting your mind, body, and soul together is that you need therapy. Yes, even you need therapy. Therapy is not only for when you're going through trauma. Therapy is something that we all should be doing. You may not need as intensive talk therapy as some people do, but everybody, when I tell you everybody, should have a therapist. Everybody should be checking in with an unbiased third party that could be able to help you sift through your emotions. A lot of times we'll present in a certain way and we'll act a certain way and we'll feel a certain way, and we don't really have the language to put to what we're feeling and what we're going through. And that's where your therapist comes in, mama. Y'all need therapy. Check yourself. Ask yourself, are there things that you're struggling with that you can't handle on your own? Are there things that you struggle with handling on your own? Are you constantly having trouble with sleep? Are you constantly having trouble with feeling stressed? These are things to be discussing with a therapist. That group chat, as much as you could be able to leave on your friends, that group chat. I know therapy is expensive. Y'all don't gotta tell me. I know therapy is expensive, but check with your employer. A lot of times your job will offer a few sessions for free, or they may be able to connect you with something that is more affordable. Please, please, please check in with a therapist. And with that, with mind, body, and soul, get in the Bible. I will say it here on this video if my intro video didn't make it clear. We believers on this side of town, okay? We are repping for the big God on this side of town, okay? God is very much real, y'all. He is very real, and he wants a relationship with you. Psalms 34:8 says, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed are those who seek refuge in him. And it's the truth. Just taste a little bit. Try going to church. Try reading the Bible a little bit. Try getting in community with people that are already in community with God, and you will see it's gonna be good. Love that chicken from God. I'm so unserious. Another thing I will say, I have not met many people that are like, oh, I chose to follow God, and that was like the worst thing I could ever do for my life. It's gonna make it better. Coming from someone who dealt with depression, suicidal ideations, anxiety, unhealthy eating, self-harm. It's the truth. The truth, the way, and the life. He ain't lie. I am not gonna push or force nobody to do nothing they don't want to do. But that's why I said taste. Just taste and see. And you will see that the Lord is good and he loves you. Let's get a hallelujah in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and type hallelujah in the comments, okay? And the last thing I want to say with this is try to find moments to be still. I know there's so much going on in the world right now, and like our minds will just be going a mile a minute without us even knowing, but we have to take moments for some calm. So try meditating if you haven't tried already. It may be difficult at first, but eventually you'll kind of build up the energy for it. But try meditating. Try to do days without your phone. Gag? Did I gag somebody? Try to do days without your phone, and that's going to be one of the points. We're going to get there. We're going to get to that phone later. Try to spend some time outside. My favorite way to connect with nature is going to the beach. Because for me, I love the beach. I love seeing in my very Moana fashion. I love seeing where the sky meets the sea or whatever she says. I love seeing that. It just reminds me that like I'm such a small part of the big picture. When you are able to look out into like the vast ocean and just kind of see what God created and just kind of be outside and be one with nature, feel the sand on your feet, feel the wind blowing in your hair, like hear the waves. Ooh, girl, I'm getting transported right now. Like that is one of my favorite places to be. It's just such a place of zen. It's just a place to quiet the noise. We on big five, point number big five. Point number big five. No, I'm kidding. All right, number 5. The 5th thing I've learned since turning 25 is no is a complete sentence. Go ahead and put N-O, period. That's the sentence. And what I mean by that is your boundaries are not negotiable. You need to be standing on business when it comes to your boundaries. If there are certain boundaries and parameters that you have put for yourself, whether that's because of your faith, whether that's because of your healing, for whatever reason that is, stand on business. Stand on business. Your boundaries are only going to be effective if you make them effective. People are only going to respect your boundaries if you respect your boundaries. Isn't that crazy? There shouldn't be cases where you're making exceptions or for this person or whatever. You know the reason that you have come up with these certain boundaries. So you need to stand on business when it comes to your boundaries, okay? You can't be flip-flopping and changing the boundaries and I'm gonna let it slide this way and I'm gonna let it slide. Not, stand on business. I'm gonna call Drewski on you. Stand on business. The next thing I will say is you're not responsible for how people handle your no. And what I mean by that, some people are going to get pissed off that you're saying no. Some people are going to take offense to the fact that you're saying no. You're just going to have to let them. Keep it cute. You don't have to be disrespectful. It doesn't have to be a no, because my boundary is I ain't gonna do that no more. You can just be clear, concise to the point. Hey, not gonna go out to the club with you guys anymore. I put a boundary with myself that I'm not gonna be doing that. Sorry. Guess what? That's it. That's the whole thing. If they're upset, they're just gonna have to be upset. If your no doesn't satisfy their question, it's not your job to find the answer for them. Ooh, two people pleasers, myself included. Saying no to people that you are not used to saying no to, or saying no in general, if you're a people pleaser, you're going to feel guilty. It's going to feel like, oh my God, am I horrible because I told this person no? Oh my God, are they going to hate me because I said no? Having boundaries is going to be so, so important in your healing, because a lot of people that are people pleasers, they tend to get abused by people with more narcissistic traits, okay? And with that, they're going to continuously feed off of you because they know, this is the gag of it all, y'all. I had to learn this through therapy. They know that you're a people pleaser. They know that you want to give. They know that you want to help. They know this, and they use this to their advantage. So it's not till you start having boundaries and you start telling no and you start cutting off their supply that they will either, one, get very upset with you, and or they'll drop you and move on to the next person that they can get their supply from. And this applies to friends too. I would say that peer pressure only has the power that you give it. You may be out with a group of friends and they may tell you to try this or do this or whatever. And if your answer is no, you have to be firm in that no, and you have to be able to stand on business. Be careful of trying to peer pressure others. I was guilty of this. I didn't even realize it at the time, but I was guilty of this. If someone gives you a no, don't try to press them for a different answer. Don't try to entice them with a different answer. You know why? Because that's devil work. Hate to break it to you, that's devil work. That's Satan trying to move within you, because we are all human. So offenses will happen, but our Savior pronounces woe on the person who offends and causes others to sin. Anyone who leads others into sin bears great guilt. Only deep-seated wickedness attempts to confuse and destroy another's potential. Basically meaning, you trying to convince somebody to do a sin is worse than the sin that they could do. You don't want to be that person that's leading someone away from their boundaries. Like I said, I called myself out. This is something that I have done in the past without even realizing it. You know why? Because I wasn't in point number 4. I wasn't reading my Bible. I didn't understand what I was doing at the time. I just thought, oh, hey, we're friends. Come on, take a drink. Do this, do that. If someone tells you no, stand on business in respecting their boundaries. The 6th thing I've learned since turning 25 is there is no timeline. You set the timeline, literally and figuratively, even on Instagram. You set the timeline. You determine when you hit your milestones. You should be equally proud if it takes you 10 years to finish college versus if it takes you 2 to 3 years to finish college. Guess what? Both of y'all finished college. When you were born, they didn't give you a manual that says, this age you graduate high school, this age you graduate college, this age you start working, this age you get married. And our problem is we feel entitled to time. You don't make the rules, sweetie. We don't make the rules here. God makes all the rules here. So that thing that you see somebody accomplishing in 2 years, it may take you 15 years to get there. Sit with that. Certain things you don't need to force. If you're in college, and I'll say this for anybody that's college age that's watching, just stay your course. There's some friends that I started off with that didn't graduate at all. There's some friends that I started off with in high school that graduated before me. Stay your course. If you need to take that semester off to get yourself together mentally, you need to do that. If you need to take those 2 years to get your mind right, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no timeline. I was in college with grown people, people with kids, and I was in classes with grown people. It's okay. What is for you will always be for you. It's always going to be there waiting for you. There is no competition in your life. The curse of comparison had me in a headlock. I would see certain things and be like, well, I did the same thing. Why is this popping off more? Or whatever the case may be. Something I've learned is you don't know what someone's had to go through to get that thing that you're jealous of. Another point I want to say is you are never too old to accomplish your dreams or your passions. And I say this figuratively because some things they do have a cutoff and whatever. For example, one of my passions was to march DCI. Now, if you guys don't know, DCI is kind of like the grand, like the marching band supreme. And a lot of people tend to march DCI in the summer. Now, DCI has a cutoff. The cutoff with DCI, I think, is like 21 or 22. Relatively, right now, in my 20-something years of age, I would not be able to do DCI. I missed it. That's just one of the things I missed. Another dream of mine is YouTube. And in my 20-something years of age, I'm not going to come on here and be like, oh, I'm too old to get the YouTube started. One of my favorite YouTubers was Glozell. If y'all know Glozell, if y'all know who Glozell is, one of my favorite YouTubers used to be Glozell. And I'm pretty sure Glozell was not no spring chicken when she started. And that's no shade, Glozell. If you're watching this, I love you so much. Please, that's not shade. You don't have to get started at the Kai Cenat age to be as big as Kai Cenat. That's all I'm trying to say there. The point is, what's the rush? Truly, what's the rush? Because I don't think we ask ourselves enough. Like when we're saying, oh, I'm 25, I'm supposed to be doing this. Or I'm 26, I'm supposed to be doing this. What's the rush? We're all rushing to accomplish a goal. And then when we accomplish the goal, then what? We have to take time to enjoy the journey of the goal. And that's kind of like the season that I'm finding myself in. I'm just trying to go through the journey of the goal, okay? Our life is what we're living right now. Your life is what the situation is when you're watching this video. My life right now is the situation when I'm filming this video. Not to say that's all your life is going to be, but that is what your life is at the moment. Your life is not what may happen in the future or what you want to happen in the future. Your life is what's going on right now. What is your day to day? And the internet will make you feel like there's a timeline. The internet will make you feel like you're behind because there may be people your age or younger that are surpassing the things that you're doing. But again, that's that comparison. Learn to wait on the Lord. In the waiting, there is work to be done. Just because you're waiting, that doesn't mean I'm literally just going to sit here like, oh, that's not how that works. You have to put in the work. You have to live your life. Again, the other point, I love how the things all come together. You have to live your life the way you see it going. And eventually, God will do the rest. Once you start to change your mindset, and again, once that frontal lobe starts kicking in and help you change your life will change. The seventh thing I have learned since turning 25 is it really do be that dang phone. I will say our parents were absolutely onto something when they kept telling us it's that phone, when they kept saying if you knew that schoolwork like you knew them songs. They were onto something. It is really that phone. I don't know if it's a FOMO thing because for me at this point, I've taken a few social media fasts and there will be times like, for example, I was on the social media fast when the whole very demure, very cutesy thing happened. So I kept seeing like the demure thing just popping up. Like even when I was watching other YouTubers, like they'd be talking about very demure, very cutesy. And I had to ask my friend, I'm like, why do people keep saying this? And then they showed me the TikTok and I was like, oh, it was a TikTok thing. A lot of people feel like they have to be plugged in because society more now than ever really promotes online life, online culture, instead of like kind of what's going on in the real world. Like Twitter will make you think like the world is a dumpster fire. And you go off of Twitter for a week and you realize, oh wow, I haven't randomly gotten enraged by seeing absurd takes on the internet. One thing to remember with all social media is that people only show you what they want you to see. A lot of times we'll hear about celebrities having issues with taxes or their house is getting foreclosed on and all this other stuff. But when they were posting in the Lamborghini, they weren't showing you the fact that they had back taxes. They wasn't showing them letters from the IRS, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of this stuff. People are curating what they want you to see. Even with this video, there's a lot more to this video than what you guys are going to get because I had to cut things out and whatever the case may be. But I try to still present as authentic as possible. But a lot of the things that we see on the day-to-day on social media is not true. It's just not true. This is a controversial take, but I will say that your body is not all you have to offer. Everybody's posing like Ice Spice and Jada Wada, and I can't take it. They even got me for a season. They even got me for a season when I was doing all the titty posts and the like bent over. Like, we have enough Jada Wadas, y'all. Be yourself. There's a difference between getting influence from someone and being like someone. Everyone's recipe is not gonna work for you. Like, y'all, like, once they started doing, what's that dress? Everyone started wearing that dang poster girl dress. I'm gonna put it right here. Like, one person wear it and then it's everywhere. It's like uniform for y'all. It's like the birthday uniform. It's like the going out of town uniform. It's like, please be yourself. You have to consider, like, a lot of these people that are on social media, like their first few years of college or like their senior year or whatever the case may be, a lot of the times when you're kind of making those social interactions and you're going out and you're dating and whatever, all of that has been through the internet. All I'm going to say is try a fast. You never know. Try a fast. Try to get off the internet for a few days. More recently, I've been asking myself, like, what would I do if there's no internet for a week? And I realized I'd be pretty covered. I got books, I can read my Bible, I still got DVDs, I still got CDs. I used to have VHS, but like no one really has a VHS player anymore. But those are things that I'd be able to do to occupy myself outside of my phone. So I would very much recommend getting off your phone because a lot of emotion is also attached to social media. It's truly not normal for us to consume the amount that we consume. Like, even in the 30 minutes, like now I have a lot of my social media on like 30-minute timers. Even in the 30-minute timer that I have on the TikTok and stuff, I can consume so much in that time. And a lot of it is contradicting. So it leaves a lot of people feeling lost. And it goes back to checking your settings and making your own timeline. Curate the things that you want to see. If you're seeing a lot of mess and a lot of like discourse in your timeline, hate to tell you, you might be a little bit messy and your algorithm is picking up on that. You can curate your social media to the things you want to see. TikTok is like one of the best at doing that. You can just like a few videos and in a little bit, TikTok will kind of figure out what you like to see. All right, so as we wrap up today's video, I know I unpacked a lot on you guys today. I know I called some of y'all out, but hey, I called out myself too. So, you know, it's fair over here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and give it a like, give it a big thumbs up. Let's get a discussion going on in the comments. What are some things you've learned since turning 25? What are some things, if you're under 25, that you're hoping to learn or that you're currently working on? Go ahead and put those in the comments. If you like this kind of style of video, put that in the comments as well, so I know what you guys like to see and kind of what content is a little bit more popular than others. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that we can keep growing. I already told y'all if there's only 50 of us, we're just gonna keep rocking to the end of time. But you know, we want to welcome in more people. If there's more like-minded people that want to be here with us, so go ahead and subscribe and share. Share this to somebody that's 25 or younger. Let them know what to expect. Let them know what to expect to get their wig pulled like Sheree pulled Kim's wig once they turn 25, because them lessons, they're gonna be coming at you. I thank you guys so much. Again, like the video, share the video, comment something that you took away from this or something that you thought should have been included. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Listen, this thing called life is pretty hard. Just know that everyone out there, no matter where you are in life or where you think you should be in life, you're doing great. You're doing the best that you can. You only got what you got, and just keep trying. Focus on the life you have now. The future is gonna come, God willing. The past already happened. So focus on the now and just do what you can. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Mwah. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Or you're gonna get put out. Ooh, oh my god.
Is this it? This is it. Here I'm alive. Now I know what it is. I don't remember how the song goes, but this is it by Michael Jackson. If you know, you know.